Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and we have a major flood threat coming for some of us, actually a lot of us, a big area to watch and new tropical waves to watch. So I want to get into the possibility of development out of this. I want to look at a couple new tropical waves headed toward the eastern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. We'll see that rain chance go up, and with this and all the moisture building, I want to go way out on time and take a look at the 7-day rain total. So hang on for that. We're going to take a look at that rain total deep into next week. It is extremely high for some of us. Now let's cover that tropical area, or at least tropical downpours back toward parts of the northern Caribbean, and then these tropical waves out here. Now this one here is going to work its way into the eastern Caribbean. Not seeing signs of development out of these, but we are going to see that chance of rain increasing. Now, one of the concerns going into the hurricane season will be the heat content. Well, what the heck is that? It's not just that the water temperatures are warm, but you see where these brighter colors are across the Caribbean right into the Gulf of Mexico. That's not just warm water at the surface, but that is deep warm water. So as storms form over these areas and they kind of churn up the water, and sometimes that could bring up cooler water and kind of cool the water, it's really warm down deep. So it's just going to bring up more warm water, and that's an issue. The heat content is high, which means that's a lot of fuel for these systems, and that's why I watch these very carefully. While I don't expect development out of this area immediately, the heat content is high in here, the water temperatures are warm, so it wouldn't be a surprise if it did spin up into a tropical storm. Not seeing that as of now, but just wanted to let you know everything I'm kind of seeing behind the scenes. I don't want to leave anything out for you. In the short term, watching the rain building. Now, this is the European model. Let me just take you out in time here, and we'll stop it on Monday. So this is Monday. It's not showing signs of development. That is good news. The not so great news for some of us will be too much rain. Now, a lot of us need the rain. We still really need to get some in here, but of course, in the tropics, it comes too much too fast. Rain building on Monday near the Yucatan, still the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Cuba, and then that surge will start to lift up to the north as we get into later in the upcoming week. This would be by about Tuesday of next week, watching that rain lifting up toward the Gulf of Mexico. I'll show you the American model in just a second. No signs of this spinning up as of now, but this is that area of very high heat content, so we'll see how it kind of feeds off of that water, and then there's that surge of moisture lifting up toward the southeast U.S., Florida, and you can see that moisture parts of Central America, which will be good news because we need rain in spots, but the trouble is over toward Cuba, the Cayman Islands, parts of Jamaica, even parts of the Bahamas, we are going to get way too much rain, and we are going to have that major flood threat. So I want to spell that out. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. But covering the chances of development, the heat content high, the water temperatures are high, but on the flip side, this here is the European model showing a lot of wind shear in this area by Tuesday of next week. That's good news for us. That'll help prevent development. Those are winds kind of crazy up above our heads that would rip off these developing areas of rain and storm. So the wind shear are our friend right now, and I'll be watching that carefully. That's why I'm not seeing signs of development. Even the American model has backed off on that. We were talking about that over the last 2 days, not showing it really spinning up into a tropical storm at this point. But here's the broad picture again. This here is the American model, and you see that increased chance of rain the next several days, just batches of rain near the Cayman Islands, Cuba, if you live near some of the higher terrain in some spots, over toward parts of Cuba, even Jamaica, possibility of mudslides. Of course, we have a lot in the way of lower terrain or just simply flat islands as we get back toward parts of the Bahamas and the Cayman Islands. We're going to be taking on a lot of water, though. Roads will become impassable. Now, going out in time, this here would be late on Monday. There's the moisture starting to build, and you see that catching your eye there? That's that next tropical wave. So the moisture here building and lifting to the north. There's a front up here, up by Texas and over toward the United States. This front here, as it swings this way, it's all tied together, it's going to help reach down and grab that moisture. You see it right there, and lift that moisture up toward the U.S., up toward parts of the Bahamas, still the Cayman Islands, Cuba, and seeing that surge of moisture where we need it in spots of Central America. This is by Tuesday, but still no signs of development. But that there, watching over towards St. Lucia, Barbados next week, Grenada, St. Vincent the Grenadines, we need some rain, Trinidad and Tobago, the next tropical wave moving in, and then you see by Wednesday, the rain sticking around, and that's the big issue. In some spots, it could stick around, rounds of rain for days and days to come in this area. And then watching some healthier tropical waves that'll be moving our way in the Eastern Caribbean. I showed you those a couple minutes ago. So we already have the moisture around. The Dominican Republic, Haiti, we've had some rain around from last night. Jamaica, we've had some heavy areas of rain. Thank you for leaving your comments and location and taking the time to subscribe. That's how we kind of build this weather community and share our weather information. We have You Are My Eyes and Ears back through the Cayman Islands. Very unsettled weather. And a little flare up near Belize, hoping we could get some rain that will work in. I'll cover that in a moment as we go island by island, country by country with some of the rain totals. So let me get to the short term here. This is later today. You see all this moisture, Turks and Caicos included. Some spots still not a lot. Parts of Nicaragua, we really need the rain. And then not as much in the Eastern Caribbean yet, but I was showing you those tropical disturbances or tropical waves that are out there that will be working in. As we head into our Saturday, you see the moisture still central in southern Bahamas, the better chance over toward the Turks and Caicos. And look at the Cayman Islands. Thank you for sharing this across the Cayman Islands and Jamaica. Heavy areas of rain. Jamaica, we're going to be on the edge of it. Cuba, we're going to see some big areas of rain that will persist for days and days, and watching out for a high flood threat in Cuba. You can see by Sunday afternoon the rain in some of the same areas. This is going to stick around into next week I was showing you, and then eventually a lot of this will be lifting to the north. You see Sunday in the Bahamas, no signs of development, but I am seeing again that much higher chance of rain central and southern Bahamas. So let me get into the 3-day rain totals and then show you the 7-day rain total on the wide perspective. I'll have that in just a second, but some of these colors are off my chart here as you get toward Cuba and the Cayman Islands. Get back toward the Bahamas here. You see central and southern Bahamas, some of the brighter colors lending themselves to some of those higher rain totals. But as we get back toward, let me swing here and just get a little bit closer. Get back toward Jamaica over the next 3 days. The heaviest rain would be just off toward the west, but it's going to be close. It'll be over toward the Cayman Islands, so still scattered areas of rain. And as you know, if you've been following the comments as well, some areas have had already too much rain. Some of us still haven't got a whole lot, but the areas that have had rain and get more, we are going to see some areas of flooding. Watching that back toward Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and again up toward Cuba. These rain totals just through the weekend. You could see here this kind of a white or even black shading. That's 100 to 150 millimeters of rain, or 4 to 6 inches of rain. That is going to lead to some impassable roads as far as the water is concerned, as far as the flooding is concerned as we get through the weekend. If you have any trouble with flooding, put it in the comments, let me know. We get back toward Belize, scattered rain, but this is at least a better sign. Here's northern Honduras, where we will see some spots around 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain. Still not for all of us in Belize, but the rain chance is trending up. But you get back, here's Cuba. Look at these totals, 100 millimeters to 150 millimeters of rain. Plus, you see those brighter colors showing up? We could have some spots of about 250 millimeters of rain as we swing into the weekend. So we're looking at upwards of about 6 to 8 inches of rain in spots in Cuba. There are the Cayman Islands. Here we are in Jamaica. Scattered rain and storms, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. British Virgin Islands, not as much, but watching that flood threat as well. Southern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos. Here's the 3-day rain total in the Eastern Caribbean. Not super high over toward Dominica through Trinidad, but you get over here, there's that next tropical wave. So as we get deeper into the weekend and next week, we're going to be watching that rain chance getting up there. So Trinidad and Tobago, some scattered showers and storms around, especially this weekend. You can see a few totals that could clip 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain for some of us in Trinidad. But next week, thank you for spreading the word, that next tropical wave will be moving in and we'll see that higher chance of rain. Now here is the 7-day rain outlook, and you get the idea of what I've been talking about. 2 things really to point out, actually a lot of things to point out, but 2 things. This huge surge of moisture in here. Now these are super high rain totals, but again, we're including 7 days here, and then this moisture building in the tropical Atlantic that that will eventually try to pump our way. A lot of this we're going to see Cayman Islands, Cuba, I mentioned the next 3 days, but all the way into next week, creeping up toward Florida and parts of the Bahamas. And that higher chance of rain in parts of Central America is really at this point favoring the Pacific side, but at least the Yucatan and Belize seeing that chance of rain. Very isolated though in Mexico. But these are some crazy totals, and that's what I was talking about, that major flood threat setting up Cuba, the Cayman Islands, close to Jamaica, kind of right on the edge of it, watching over toward the Bahamas. And it's just this plume of moisture. There's an old disturbance just sitting here, and there's really nothing to kick it out. It's not really tropical in nature, but it will give us those tropical downpours around, while in Mexico, we are too dry. We need this pattern to change. It's still going to be a little bit of some time before it does. Extreme eastern sections over toward the Yucatan, that's where we're going to see the pattern starting to break the next few days. So I like this wider perspective. It shows you just that big area of rain that we'll be watching for days and days. So it may not be 24 hours straight of rain a day, but you get a batch of rain in the Cayman Islands, may get a little relief, then you get another area of rain. Now Cuba, a lot of this is going to be flaring up in the afternoon. This is our Saturday afternoon. The daytime heating is going to enhance the rain and storms in Cuba and give us some of those bigger downpours. And then watching that, you see central and southern Bahamas as we get later in the day on Sunday. And there's some of the moisture building off toward the east of Barbados and Trinidad as we work our way into late this weekend. But you see those rain totals over toward Mexico, not much at all. Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, where we need some rain, still scattered about. It's kind of been that pattern even down through Costa Rica and Panama, where some spots have gotten rain, they just keep getting it, and other spots have just been dry and just can't buy any rain. Most of it has been sitting not too far away, but just not moving in. So I'll be tracking this moisture the next few days. Then you get over toward the Atlantic region of Canada, rainstorms over the next 3 days, and we were highlighting this the last couple of days together. Just that unsettled pattern continuing. This is our Saturday. It continues into Sunday, where we'll get those areas of rain showers, all the systems kind of moving off the east coast of the U.S. into the Atlantic region of Canada. In the tail end of this, they just kind of spin up here, and nothing's really kicking them out quite yet. So you see even on Sunday, that increased chance of rain. So Jamaica, let me know what you're getting. Some areas of downpours around. We're going to watch out for that flood threat carefully together. The Cayman Islands, that rain chance is eventually going to go way up, and it could continue deep into next week. So spread the word. There we go in Trinidad and Tobago. No washout, but watching out for the increased chance of rain as we get deeper into the weekend. Barbados, isolated for now. We'll watch those tropical waves off to the east. In St. Lucia, rain chance up to 40% on Sunday. And starting to build in Grenada. Grenada, we really need some of the rain. We need some of the rain in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Rain chance about 40% by Sunday, so we'll take that. I'm hoping some of that moisture will move our way. Martinique, 20 to 30% chance. Holding at about an even 20% chance in Dominica. Isolated shower chance as well as we get toward Guadeloupe, and a 20% chance Antigua and Barbuda. Rain chance St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. We also need to get some rain. Rain chance not high at all the next couple days. 10 to 20% chance. Anguilla and St. Bart's, about a 20% chance of rain. 10 to 20% chance St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Rain chance about 30% in Puerto Rico. Could get a few afternoon and evening storms. Watching out for a few U.S. and British Virgin Islands, but just not as much as the last few days. And we've had some flooding around. Bahamas, I was highlighting central, southern Bahamas for that flood threat as we get deeper into the weekend, right into next weekend. That does include the Turks and Caicos. We get back toward the Dominican Republic. Isolated areas of rain and storms could still lead to some isolated flooding. 20 to 30% chance in Haiti through the weekend. In Belize, rain chance up to 40%. So it's not a 100% chance, but at least we're not dealing with a 0% chance anymore. Some scattered showers around. Let me know if you get some. We need some. Ladyville, Hopkins, we need to get some of that rain in here. Now, Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, everything's kind of been up and around us. We have been so hot. Next week, I'm hoping we could get a couple showers out of those tropical waves mid to late next week. Guyana, still some areas of flooding. Same thing in Suriname, some pockets of flooding with that elevated chance of rain. And there we go in Cuba, that rain chance going up, and it will stay up with that major flood threat that will be around, especially western and central areas of Cuba. Costa Rica, about a 60% chance of rain, a little bit less as we get back toward Panama. Parts of Panama, again, we need some rain. Need some rain in Nicaragua, some of the same spots getting it. 40 to 50% chance this weekend in Honduras, and about a 40 to 50% chance Guatemala and El Salvador. You get back toward Mexico City. Mainly dry today and the next several days, just some isolated stuff. The Yucatan, though, the rain chance will be starting to bump up. Northern Venezuela, 40% chance by Sunday. And in Bermuda, isolated chance of a passing shower. More of that rain's actually up to the north by the Atlantic region of Canada. So large area of rain kind of developing, hanging out as we work our way into parts of the northern Caribbean, southern Gulf of Mexico. A high risk of flooding in some areas. I was highlighting that. It will eventually move to the north as we work our way into next week, but more tropical waves moving in from the east. So this is about to be a very busy pattern. So let me know what you got going on. I hope you have a good rest of your day and be safe.